Hey guys, this is Huntin for games.
I do not sound like that.
You kind of sound like that.
That is ridiculous.
That's my best impersonation of you.
So we've got Curt here for Hunt for Game News. A lot of good stuff happened this week, including a new PC. I built a new PC, so it's all being recorded on my laptop.
Because his PC is in shambles right now.
It is in shambles. It totally works. One of the monitors is being recognized on a DisplayPort.
And the other two are flickering on and off.
Those are on most of the time. Regardless, I think it worked. Seems to be good. So a lot of cool stuff though. Starting with the Gwent open beta being announced. I think coming soon.
Soon is in 2 days.
2 days.
Now I don't know how many of you guys who follow Hunter's channel here have played The Witcher 3, and beyond that, played a lot of the minigame that was highly touted as one of the better minigames in RPGs in recent years. Gwent. Card game in the game. I personally loved it. I actually skipped a lot of the main storyline just to sneak into some of the bigger cities in the game to play more Gwent.
It is pretty cool.
So when they announced that they were making a standalone version, I was really excited. So the past couple months, they've had a closed beta, which I've been highly enjoying. Spending a lot of my time playing that. Very deep card game. It's a lot of fun. It's addictive. The closed beta just ended today, but the open beta is starting in 2 days.
So you like suffering from withdrawal?
I actually can't play for 2 more days.
You've been playing like a lot.
Nonstop.
Yeah.
So I'm locked out of Gwent for 2 days. But in 2 days, the open beta starts up, and we can all play.
There you go.
With the open beta, they've gone through many major patches. They're really putting in a lot of time, listening to community feedback, changing a lot of the way the game works, a lot of individual cards and adding cards. With the advent of the open beta, they've announced a large overhaul to a lot of the different systems. They're adding many new cards to the various decks and changing the way others work. And they're also adding another form of currency in the game. Right now, you've got every time you win a match or even just play a match, you build up both ore and scraps. Ore is for buying packs of random cards. That's how you get new cards in the game. Scraps is for literally hand-picking exact cards that you want to fill out your deck. So while you can buy cards, they're doing a good job of staying away from the pay-to-win model.
Yeah, so that's what I played Hearthstone for a few weeks, and that's what kind of drove me away. Was that at one point I realized that while there are decks that you can kind of build for free, essentially, or budget, a lot of it was like have you put money into it to get a bunch of cards all at once to like build a good deck. Right. Anyways, that a little bit much for me, but pumped about the Gwent open beta. I did enjoy the game in the game. I didn't play for very long because I got super involved in like the Witcher 3 storyline. I did want to stop for Gwent, but it was cool. I was excited. So what else? We got some big announcements from Ubisoft.
In the most boring way possible at a stakeholders meeting that they knew would be public.
No, the next Assassin's Creed in Egypt.
At this point, they might as well just call it
Assassin's Creed
Next.
The next one. I think it's going to be a prequel, although that was all a rumor. Anyways, is official, not that anybody didn't think it was.
I think they actually have a little tagline on there, like Origins or How It All Started. It's supposed to be basically a prequel.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
It could be that guy before Desmond. He was creepy. He was dead by the time we showed up. Or supposedly, but...
Well, that's if they bring back the modern-day component at all.
Right, I hope they bring that back.
I mean, maybe we'll just be another Ubisoft employee for this one. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about them.
That was the coolest, like, modern-day kind of version where you're just, like, in the office building, kind of, like, checking out emails and stuff, but still so lame compared to...
It got cool at the end. It actually got freaky at the end.
The end freaked me out, yeah.
You had the whole, like, Ghost in the Shell thing going on.
Spoilers.
Oh, spoilers. It gets freaky at the end.
It gets freaky.
All the others, you've just been
Wasn't that Black Flag?
Yeah.
Black Flag was awesome. Anyways, going on. Slightly more excited than that, The Crew 2, for all our big Crew fans.
Their other huge franchise.
I own The Crew.
And you've never played with it.
I've never played it. I've never opened it.
You really tried to get us to get it.
I really wanted somebody to play with me.
It has its following.
It's a neat game. I like that style of game. I played Forza Horizon 3 a lot. So, I mean, it's not that I don't like the concept. I just, for whatever reason, couldn't get into The Crew. The final one, probably the biggest, Far Cry 5 was kind of teased, announced at the same time.
Yeah, the leak was, the rumor started from live action footage being filmed up and around the northern Midwest. Looked like a Western setting.
Yeah.
Along with that, people dug into it and they found about a couple years ago, even Ubisoft releasing surveys about what kind of setting fans would like to see the next Far Cry in. And while there were many options, including like space and futuristic settings and farther in the past, they kind of ran the gamut of options there. Western was one of the options, and if you were able to view the poll results, one of the most highly selected ones.
Yeah, big following. Obviously, Red Dead was huge. Haven't been a lot of Western games.
I wonder if it was part of their strategy to kind of have this
it might
collide with the release.
I kind of wonder if it comes down to like when what is it, consumer polls. Because, like, a lot of kind of games that sort of have a similar model. Like, so we've got Battlefield 1, returning to World War 1, and then now Call of Duty.
World War II.
Obviously, both of those games were developed for many years. It's not like Call of Duty turned around and was like, quick, let's make a World War II game. Like,
sure.
So, clearly, there's some sort of research going on, like, oh, the futuristic games aren't doing as well. Let's tone it back, and our Far Cry model's not working as much. Westerns seem to be it. But it is kind of interesting that, Red Dead 2 is finally surfacing at the same time-ish. Far Cry 5.
That's either some devious plan or just huge bad luck for Ubisoft.
But still, Far Cry 5 and the Montana little trailer, that sounds cool. America? Montana?
Honestly, though, the trailer showed, I was expecting a direct competition to Red Dead. I'm thinking like old Western.
Sure.
The trailer showed a guy in like regular jeans and a t-shirt and modern day silos in the background as he's running through a cornfield with like blood spatter on his shirt, looking like he's running away from somebody.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a cool concept, an open world Far Cry thing, but probably taking place in the more modern day American Midwest.
Yeah, I'm just hoping they can bring back. The stories have gotten more and more ridiculous since Far Cry 3 with Van, the crazy guy, where you were just like, you and your friends were on vacation and then you got
totally
captured. Brown out.
Yeah.
And then you spend the rest of your brown out vacation killing a bunch of dudes.
Hardcore.
But the bad guy was awesome. But the rest of it, you're like, I feel like it's weird how quickly like this kid adopted murder and mass murder and enjoys it. And then it got like really crazy. But Far Cry 4...
That's kind of a staple of the Far Cry games, though.
Yeah.
I mean, in the first one, I think your guy was an ex-military at some degree. But
At least there was some ex-military.
But he was basically like this Bruce Campbell type who now just drank beer, wore Hawaiian shirts, and took tourists on boat cruises.
That sounds
and then
perfect
got wrecked.
to me.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all I want.
That was a good setting.
That was a great setting.
Actually,
anyways, let's go back to that.
Yeah. I'm curious, though, if they do modern day-ish, even if they say it's the 80s Montana, how are they going to limit... There's always a map, and you can't go beyond the borders.
Yeah.
In some games, it's just like there's mountains, there's territory. They find a way. A lot of times it's an island. How are they going to limit you to staying in Montana?
Maybe it'll be like Tremors, where there's just kind of like a valley, and the one road's out, and some sharp hills that are going to kind of hold you back.
And you can't get to the one pass out because it's heavily guarded
by graboids. Anyways, next kind of
wait. Far Cry Tremors is a game I would absolutely...
Actually, while we're talking about it, I would totally play Far Cry Tremors.
Yes.
You're welcome, Ubisoft. Bring back the Tremors brand. That would be huge.
It wouldn't take too much money for a company like Ubisoft to buy that.
I don't think it would take any money. I think they'd sell it. They'd give it away. What does Sci-Fi Channel own it? At this point, they put out a movie every few years.
I think they made the last couple themselves.
They don't even own the rights. They just keep making them and nobody complains. They're like, yeah, who would complain at this point?
Have you seen all 5?
No, I watched like 3, which is far more than most people can claim.
I recommend catching up on the whole series.
All right, next weekend.
Also, Kevin Bacon.
Well, yeah, he was only in the first one.
I know.
Or was he?
He was.
Oh, damn. Netflix announced in a surprising turn of events that they're going to get into the gaming television and movie scene, which has never succeeded. But I mean, this is Netflix. They put out some amazing stuff.
They're just adapting a book series.
That's true.
It's not like there aren't any successful TV series right now that have a medieval fantasy spin that have been adapted from a book series.
It can't be done. It can't be done. So, The Witcher 3. Netflix announced that they're doing a Witcher 3 TV show. Heavily involved is the original writer who did the 30 novels that The Witcher game... I don't know why I just said The Witcher 3, because it's just The Witcher. Curt's right, it is more heavily based on the novelization than it is on the games, which are based on the novelization. So, I mean, we'll see. I'm sure there's a ton of overlap there. But it's cool that they're working with the original author to get the setting right.
It's kind of known, or at least rumored, that apparently the original author doesn't really like video games as a platform very much, or at least doesn't really like the way they've taken the story in the video games.
I guess he likes money.
I'm
sorry, that's harsh. He probably that game has obviously been a work of passion, so he probably was very impressed by their devotion to his.
His one comment though was, "It'll be great to see my stories brought to life true to their source material," and everyone's just like, "Oh."
Well, I wonder if it's about the sex. So if you haven't played any of the Witcher games, Mass Effect has nothing on the amount of sex you can have.
Yeah, it's
a lot of women.
If there was a
that
sex
all
Olympics,
love Geralt.
Witcher 3 would win in video games.
Maybe he just doesn't. No, that can't be it. Anyways, so what else? The Destiny 2 official gameplay reveal trailer was here. Now, Curt and I have very different opinions on Destiny in general in some specific ways. Like, is it worth playing at all? And
very specific right there.
In other ways, we agree very strongly that, Destiny 1 had its faults. I don't think it was a perfect game, and I really hated their DLC model and stuff like that.
I think Destiny and what Bungie did, positives. There's really not many games out, the shooting games out there that have a better feeling headshot.
Oh yeah,
than Destiny. Something about it's intangible. I'm not really sure.
Pops off.
Best headshot feeling in gaming.
And they had a great way of creating enemies that had different danger zones. The one was like right in the core, a little white yellow spot in the middle of their bodies. So you kind of had to adapt to each kind of enemy. It was really, that stuff was awesome. I really did think that by the end of, okay, so right now, the state of the game right now, they've improved upon many, many of my complaints about the game, including just the general flow of your gear acquisition and stuff. But some of my complaints are still there, and a lot of that's just, it's built on a platform that was designed with like the PS3 and the Xbox 360 in mind. I mean, a lot of it was technical limitations.
Yeah, graphical fidelity will absolutely increase.
But even stuff like transportation, like right now you got to go out to space and then land on planets. I mean, who knows how much of that is technical, like they literally need to load space first.
Right. They've increased more usable in-game maps with highlighted waypoints and points of interest for the players to use.
Supposedly, the exploration itself of the planets themselves are now more interesting, whereas before the planets,
there's side quests involved too. There's
the planets
other
were kind of boring. Besides your whatever mission you were on in Destiny 1, the planets weren't that interesting. So I'm hoping there's more reason to kind of go around to the nooks and crannies, see all the cool stuff.
Apparently, they're even including a really new concept to this version of the game. It's called a storyline, and there's going to be one.
They obviously gutted the original Destiny 1 storyline. Whatever was being designed, whether it was going to be good or not, is not there anymore. We'll all miss Dinklebot too, who it was not his fault, but he's gone. Anyways,
it's a moon wizard.
The wizard came from the moon.
Big complaint though that I still have with Destiny, kind of game breaking at my point. Aside from the fact that I don't like their DLC model and how even with newer DLCs, they took certain features that were currently in the base game away until you bought the new DLC.
And that is a big no-no.
That's kind of unforgivable in my book. But in addition to that, even if you wanted to do some of the higher level group content, there was no matchmaking system. They had a matchmaking system in place for PvP. But
the three-person trials. Yes.
Okay.
Or they do now.
Yeah. They did not have one for the raids. And by raid, this is not like a true MMO raid. A six-person party, which you can get playing Siege or...
Yeah, they've now added guided games, which is their version of matchmaking. It looks like it's still kind of through this clan system in-game.
Right.
I think they're still... I don't know if it's...
Clans can post openings whenever they have a group that's not fully filled out.
I think it has to be some kind of strategy for making it a different kind of social game. And the problem with Destiny 1 was there's no way to communicate with each other to become social.
You couldn't talk to random people around you. You couldn't even message people. There was no even zone chat. There was no looking for group.
I don't know. Maybe
you couldn't do it.
Maybe if that all changes, this format will work really well and be cool that you're in a clan and can kind of seek for parties. We'll see. It's different. It's different than every other game's doing it right now. I mean,
the only way you could do it before was if you had 5 other people online that you knew. You knew they'd be online, ready to do it, and you all had characters within the same level range able to go do it.
And please correct us in the comments if we're wrong.
This could be
something
wrong.
has changed.
There's could be differences.
I haven't quite got into the rating of Destiny as it stands now. So, but also
that kind of killed it for me.
I enjoyed the leveling aspect. I thought they did a good job, at least later with updates, of balancing. People of different level tiers could do the same kind of content and not totally wreck it. There was like a cap on how good you could be and stuff like that. And it seemed to balance pretty well. So I hope they bring all that back. Honestly, my biggest 3 gripes were travel time, the needless steps with that, the general lack of story of any kind. I love when there's a story, even just to flesh out the world that I'm playing in. I think that's super important. And what was my last one?
I don't know, but let me throw in the holocron system. Seemed just very gamey.
Oh, well,
seemed very gamey.
Diablo invented that shit. And they probably didn't even invent it. The unidentified equipment.
They did have that, didn't they?
And I don't think they made it. It was probably some Ultima stuff.
Probably.
Tell me if Ultima had it.
Ultima Online? That was a real MMO.
I know. They have unidentified stuff. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up.
I think you are.
There's a third part of Destiny I really want it. Story, exploration, the worlds. I want to be part of a living, breathing world, not a tower and some dungeons. I mean,
you'll be happy to know that the tower is destroyed.
It is destroyed. The trailers revealed the biggest twist, that apparently a few months from now our beloved tower is going to be destroyed. I don't know how to tell the people that are living there right now that this is coming, because they don't know. But it's happening. It's happening soon.
And the big ball in the sky is going to be taken hostage.
Oh yeah, they're taking the ball, the light ball,
which is going to de-level everyone's character.
Anyways, that's about as much as we can say. It looks cool. If anything, I don't know why, but I was surprised at how much like Destiny it looked. But only,
I know what you mean.
Only graphically. I think I expected to see a lot that reminded me of Destiny 1 and be like, oh man, they've totally like revamped certain things about this. But it really did just look like Destiny. And why wouldn't they do that? It was, for all its faults, very successful and has a very strong following. I mean, if they branched too far from that, they could stand to lose all that.
This complaint goes both ways, because if a sequel comes out and looks too much like the original, you complain, oh, this isn't part 2. This is just part 1.5. But if they completely branch off, you get really pissed off fans of the original that hate the new format. Games have done that. I've personally felt that way about some franchises. Sure. Dragon Age has changed dramatically from installment to installment. I like the first one the best and liked it less with each installment.
Pokemon, frankly, doesn't even look like Pokemon anymore. It's like the least evolving game. It finally is 3D.
I don't know. There's a lot of evolving with Pokemon.
But yeah, so Destiny, I am excited. It does look really cool. It looks like more of an evolution, as many people have said, than a true revamp or anything like that. But I mean, that's to be expected. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited. Some betas coming this summer. But next, real quick before we leave Destiny, it's going to be running on battle.net on the PC.
Yeah, non-dedicated servers either. So that's going to be a point of contention for many fans.
Yeah, a lot of complaints around the non-dedicated servers. I'm not a huge PvP guy, but I'd love to try it out, and I probably won't as much if there's no dedicated server. So I can see how that's a complaint. And I guess, Activision also owns Blizzard and owns the battle.net system, so why not use it? But the funny part is they're trying to rebrand battle.net. And then they went and announced it like, we're going to call it Battle.net like one more time. It's not the Blizzard system, just for the sake of you guys knowing what we're talking about. But they can't do it. It's been called Battle.net for 15 years. Anyways, that's a whole nother thing. So, just for me, Curt doesn't care at all. But Final Fantasy XIV has been going on and on about their battle system. Just taking big swigs and ignoring what I said. Their battle system changes that are coming with Stormblood's expansion, in the month. So, finally today in the live letter with Yoshi P, they had a great, awesome video that I haven't even caught up on all of, but going over a lot of these changes, really cool UI stuff. I can't wait to delve more into it. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of these changes, if you've looked at it pretty in-depth. I want to do maybe another video at some point going into a lot more detail about it, because there's a lot there and I haven't really gone into detail with it. I've been trying to make my computer work. But every job has a unique UI element that takes away a lot of those, which were my complaints. I don't know how to describe them, as like activation awareness. Like if you triggered some special part of an ability, it would have like a little ring around it saying like, oh, this ability's got its little special thing activated, like use it. That's going to be essentially gone, I think, and replaced with Dragoon specific and Monk specific, Paladin specific UI elements on screen that let you know that those things are ready and you can use them without kind of taking you out of the immersion of the game. Because that killed it for me. All of a sudden I'd be staring at a hotbar for 10 minutes and wouldn't even like notice what I was fighting anymore. So I'm excited. It looks really cool. I can't wait. Plus the new abilities that they showed off for Stormblood look amazing for basically all the jobs. All the jobs look awesome. I want to play them all. But yeah. So Curt, you should totally try out the free trial. Free up to level 30 now.
Yeah, it's not even timed anymore, is it?
No, you could just play every job up to level 30 and never pay a cent.
Right.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty cool. I might have to check that out.
Controller base.
You know I'm a keyboard and mouse guy.
That is so weird. I love keyboard and mouse games, but if you offer me a controller, I will usually use it.
You know the first thing I'll do if you give me a controller?
Plug it in.
After that, invert the y-axis.
Oh, you were so weird.
I'm one of those guys
I haven't
too.
done that in 15 years.
It makes swapping controllers back and forth when you're playing games with a friend a little more annoying.
What's so weird is it died off, because I used to do that as a kid, and it died off at some point.
I would like to hear from people who've listened this far to the video.
Good
in the
for
comments,
you, by the way.
Good, thank you. Good, in the comments section, tell us if you are an invert y-axis player or not. I would like to say a lot of old games. There were even some old games on N64 era that came with that by default. So
Yeah.
a lot of them, mainly for me, that really ingrained it were probably like early flight simulator style
Oh, well,
games.
the flights I still usually do.
Right.
And for a while, there would be games where you'd hop in and out of like planes and then you'd be on the ground. And I kind of just like stuck with that mode. And then, I don't know, some game was released where I just didn't do it. And then I never went back.
You fixed yourself.
I fixed my problem. Curt didn't fix his problem.
I don't consider it a problem.
Well, that's, yeah, all right. Anyways, that's pretty much it for the week. So, like I said at the beginning of the video, I built, oh my god. Phone just erupted at us. So, beginning of the week, not beginning of the week, end of this weekend, I decided to build a new PC, kind of. I used a lot of my old parts, but I built a new AMD Ryzen processor-based computer. So I'm still working through a lot of the problems of setting up a new computer. To be honest, it's been working great. I just have like one big problem where my DisplayPort monitor isn't recognized, and I don't know if it's the new build, it's Windows 10, it's my graphics card, it's the monitor's broken.
Currently, all three monitors are blank.
Well, I think it's in sleep mode right now, but
only two of the three were.
Something's going on. If you've got any suggestions for how to fix that, I'd love to hear it. But overall, it's been awesome so far. I can't wait to play some games on it. I haven't played a single game. But I'm really pumped. It's going to be really cool for some cool maybe streaming stuff at some point and recording. But really excited. I'll post some pictures maybe. I still got to do my whole video about the Hunt for Hardware segment of like my recording whole configuration, and luckily I haven't done the computer yet because it's totally different now. So you guys will see that. But anyways, thanks for sticking around this long. Let me know in the comments your favorite news from this week and anything we missed. Especially your thoughts on like
y-axis.
And I was gonna say the big Ubisoft reveals and the gameplay reveals, because a lot of reveals this week.
There were.
It seems like an unassuming week in May, but nay.
I also heavily encourage everyone to play the Gwent open beta.
Gwent's open beta. Yeah, I don't encourage you to play Curt because he will probably wreck you.
I'm a little over 50% in my win rate.
He destroys me in that kind of stuff. Thank you, Curt, for joining us for Hunt for game news. He might be a regular. We'll see if we can keep him coming over on Sundays and Mondays.
I guess you can also vote on whether or not you want me to stick around.
Yeah, let me know in the comments if you thought Curt just sucked. Because his self-esteem isn't high enough. Wait. Anyways, I'll see you guys next week. Yay! As always, guys, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, you should totally think about subscribing. I've got videos coming out twice a week, and if you like this one, there's at least a chance you'll like some of the others that are very similar to this, so live dangerously. Let me know what you guys thought about the video in the comments and other videos you'd like to see. And finally, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Huntin for Games to keep up with all the latest stuff. See ya.